I am just done with this being my representation because that's not who I see as a trans representative. Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Alexis Blake. I am a trans woman and I share my life stories and opinions on social media. So in today's video, we're going to be reacting to Dylan Mulvaney's The Days of Girlhood new single, music video, etc. If you don't know, Dylan Mulvaney is a very, very famous trans TikToker, content creator. Arguably one of the most famous trans people in the world at this point. Like, not even to be dramatic, she is. She has amassed different accolades, awards. She goes to different award ceremonies. She's in celebrity circles. She won Woman of the Year. She's up there doing a lot of stuff. And in my eyes, she is one of the faces of the trans female community, trans women community. And we're going to watch this video, but you'll get my thoughts and opinions on it. Normally, I try and stay on the fence. I try and look at everything from different angles. But today, this has sort of like pushed me now too far. And I am upset and angry and getting increasingly annoyed at this. And you will see why. So let's just dive right in. I'll try and keep it as light as possible, but we are going to get my opinion out today. Okay, let's go. Before I explain why that initially frustrates me, and I know there is a lot of people that love and support Dylan Mulvaney, and I have never been either or, like for or against, angry or loved. I've just sort of been neutral, but I want to explain why this video is incredibly worrying and problematic to me. And I know that sounds really dramatic to say, but I genuinely believe we are living in a worrying time for the trans community. And I feel like trans women are receiving a lot of backlash right now. We're always in the headlines, we're always in the media, politicians are always talking about us, and it's always in a negative way. So I feel like whatever we do as a community or as individuals reflects on us all, and it can have a negative impact, and it can so it's like a little fire that's been started, and it seems like anything that any trans person does that's bad is thrown into the fire, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's the only way I can sort of explain it. With Dylan having like 11 million followers, there is a lot of eyes on her. There's high expectations. A lot of people are watching what she does. With that comes consequences. And Dylan did speak about this in a recent TikTok video. I'll play it now on the screen just so you can see what I'm saying, the little section.
Also realizing that my actions could directly affect a lot more people than just me.
So in that little clip, this released on TikTok around the same time the music video aired. And I think for someone to say that they understand that their actions have consequences for a lot of other people, I think she understands that as a trans woman who is a very large personality socialite, social media influencer, what she does affects the trans community as a whole. And I know this is a big burden to put on someone, but I think it is come to a point now where I just have to say it and let my feelings out. So whatever Dylan does reflects on all trans women at this point. That's how famous she is now. So when there was the Bud Light controversy, a lot of trans women got sort of pulled in with that. And when people talk about Dylan, all trans women get pulled in with that. And it seems like her actions and her behaviour and what she says and does reflects badly on us all. And that's why I'm getting increasingly frustrated now, because I don't agree with this video at all. And I think it is insulting to women personally. And I'm going to go into why. The last thing that I want to do is attack or incite hatred or make people more angry or make people go off in the comments and be nasty and cruel. I don't want that at all, because I can't imagine how that feels as a human being. But I think it's time that she takes accountability for her actions and what she is doing, because she's got to be aware that what she's doing isn't helping the trans community. I really don't think it is. At the start of the video, we see Dylan doing the walk of shame, and then in lingerie in pink, singing about how she calls herself a girl multiple times, which is a little bit concerning because she is a grown woman. She is in her late 20s, 30s, I think, my sort of age. And she says we missed the pre-game and we've got to catch up. And I do appreciate that. Like, I understand that, because we do. As a trans woman, I didn't transition until I was 27. So I missed all that teen years of learning about makeup and hair and clothes and how society was going to treat me as I became a woman. So I missed all that. So I did have to learn, and I appreciate that. But it's the fact that it's not even what she's doing that's offending me, like the whole lingerie, being silly and all camp and everything. It's not that bothers me. What bothers me is that we're at a critical time. I genuinely believe for the trans community, we're going towards trans rights being reversed. I really do believe that. She has been accused of mocking women, playing women face, insulting biological women, being narcissistic, misogynistic, all the different insults. And it's a lot of insults. She hasn't learnt from that, and she's continuing to play into that narrative to reinforce all of that. And that's what bothers me. It's not like getting some self-awareness and learning from your actions and maybe singing a song and not prancing around in lingerie. And I get people are going to say to me, well, she's just having a good time and being herself, and that's fair enough. But when being yourself has implications for the whole trans community, I think that's when you need to assess and look in the mirror at your behaviour. I always say that I'm a guest in the world of being a woman. I'm not a rightful owner, and that's just my opinion as a trans woman. I've not always used female spaces, female restrooms, had she, her pronouns. This is all a lot newer to me. So I always say that I tread very lightly in the world of being a woman, because I don't want to offend or upset or not necessarily tread on people's toes, but I want to be as respectful as possible to the women in my life, like my mum, my sister, my best friends, the women I look up to, the women who are strong and independent and are bosses. That's why I'm so respectful, or try and be so respectful, I guess. Anyway, let's watch a bit more. So, again, all these things that Dylan's just singing about, I'm sure, of course, women do. And I do some of them, I'm sure, as well. So that's not, again, what my problem is. But my problem is that in Dylan's TikTok, she's been seen running around in heels and running from bugs and playing into all the negative stereotypes that I think men have created and caricatures that men have created for women. It's almost misogynistic, in my opinion. So all of that has happened over the last 2 years. Those narratives have been created, and I feel like she's playing into those. I don't know if it's to get attention, if it's, I mean, the video is doing very well, so obviously it's working. The fame and the money and the fortune and the success is coming at what cost? So it's damaging her own reputation and, I believe, the image of trans women as a whole. And I know that's a lot to put on one individual, but I do believe that. So let's go into the lyrics a little bit, because you do miss some of them, luckily. This is Dylan's ideology of what being a woman is. Not being able to get out of bed. Tuesday morning goes to pick up medicine. That's great. Wednesday, retail therapy, cash or credit, so blowing your money. Thursday, having a walk of shame. Didn't know the name. Weekends, kissing friends, overspending, flirting for drinks, playing wing women, listening to the Twilight soundtrack, and having a breakdown. So in Dylan's eyes, a woman is someone who is unstable, who is on meds, who just sleeps around as a walk of shame and just cares about shopping and blowing money and spending money. Like, what can I say about that? Like, I'm not saying that women don't do that, and I do some of those things, of course I do. But the first song, the first music video, following up from all the controversy, all the drama, everything that people say about Dylan, to then release this and have those exact same thoughts again and just reinforce those negative stereotypes, it's just disappointing. And I hate saying that word, but it is so disappointing to watch and hear. I get why people say it's insulting to women now. I really do get it. What else can I say? That's not what a woman is to me. A woman is so much more than that. Those things don't make up being a woman. It's not even anything to do with having babies, carrying babies, having periods. That's not even what makes up a woman to me. It can be part of it, but it's not what makes up a woman to me. And I don't think I'm a valid person to explain what makes up a woman, because I'm not a biological one. But to me, when I look at like my mum and my sister, these strong, courageous, brave, tough women who go through life looking after their family and friends and supporting people and uplifting everyone even when they're feeling down, being strong and resilient and getting knocked down but always getting back up again. Song lyrics there. That's what a woman is. That is really what a woman is. Not pink, frilly, blowing money and what Dylan explained. And some people might argue she's just having fun. She's just being silly. She's just being herself. Leave her alone. And I get that. I really do. But when you're getting criticised and lots of eyes are on you, and there is this sort of wheel in motion for negative public opinion of trans women, this does not help that cause. It actually adds fuel to the fire. And that's what my problem is here. Sorry, guys. I actually am getting heated and I just need to calm down. So, we do have the chorus to watch, so...
These are the days, these are the days, these are the days of girlhood. These are the days, these are the days, these are the days of girlhood. Every day, rise and shine, you're mine. Think of it, I'll be alright. Got my goals by my side. These are the days, these are the days, these are the days of girlhood.
I do want to pause it after the chorus just there because obviously Days of Girlhood, that's Dylan's whole thing. She's definitely going to milk it for all it's worth, and I'm sure anyone would do in that situation. The fame, the success, the money, that's come with that. But it is a little bit questionable because, like I said, she didn't start a transition till her late 20s, mid to late 20s. She's wasn't transitioning to a girl. She missed that. She was transitioning to a trans woman, or is a trans woman, or transitioning to a woman. So that's also the confusing thing, like acting like a little girl and dressing like a little girl. That's not what I believe transitioning is as a trans woman, as a grown-up. When you transition as a grown-up, it's figuring out age-appropriate things about how to act and social situations, social cues, and how to dress and make your appearance blend in with the age demographic that you're transitioning to, not a child. Also noticed that there was a Real Housewife in there and Gigi Gorgeous as well, and lots of other trans women. I don't understand how Dylan can't correlate what's going on in the world around trans women and how it's getting worse for us. She can't correlate that to her actions. Anyway.
Boys on the dance floor, it's time to clear the patriarchy's over. You can hold our beer. Knock it home, beer and play the breakup. Stay up all night, fall asleep in our makeup.
So here she's singing Patriarchy's Over, Hold Our Beer, and then she's shooting pink cans of beer with a water gun. That's obviously referencing the Bud Light campaign, the one where I even said when this came out, she was clever because she was advertising something that she wouldn't stereotypically appear to have because she's pink, fluffy, girly, and she was advertising beer. And there was a whole controversy at the time, and then Kid Rock was seen shooting cans of beer, and she's sort of taking she's having a joke, she's being silly about it, and that's the one part of the video where I'm like, well done, that's kind of funny, that's clever, it's satirical, but whilst doing it, wearing minimal clothing, and it's not even about like shaming someone for their actions or words or what they wear or what they say, but I think having such a strong influence, I think that's where the problem lies. When your actions are deemed negative, it has a larger meaning than just for yourself, if that makes sense. I do want to take a moment. I can't watch anymore. The rest of the song is very similar. I do want to take a moment to look at something that I believe is a really good, beautiful representation of woman and womanhood and what women go through. And that's from, ironically, it's from a movie about pink plastic dolls. So a movie that is about Barbie dolls has so much depth to it about what I can relate to or try and relate to or understand about womanhood, and it's The Speech by America Ferrera. If you've not seen it, I'm going to play a little bit of it now because it's just so ironic to me because the movie is literally about pink plastic dolls. And that has more depth about what it means to be a woman than a living person. Anyway, let's watch it.
It is literally impossible to be a woman. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior, which is insane, but if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men, but not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood, but always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged, so find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault.
I don't even need to say anything. I think following that, I think that says itself, and the stark contrast in what is being said. I don't want to incite negative comments or people to attack anyone. That's not what I'm trying to do here at all. I just needed to express how I feel, because I feel like for so long I have been neutral around this topic and this person, but I can't anymore because it is directly, genuinely affecting trans people as a whole now. I want to give some backup to that statement, because I know it's a big thing to say that one person can affect a whole community. So I'm just going to give a little example. So in Brett Cooper's video around this song, she does talk about Dylan, and I want to play a little clip and explain what I mean.
To believe that that is what we embody. It's honestly very sad. And something else that is genuinely very sad is that Dylan released a lengthy, almost 10-minute video on social media in celebration and reflection of this 2-year transition anniversary, and there really was not a lot of joy. I mean, in the video, Dylan literally says, "I think I've forgotten how to be happy. I thought all of this would be easier. I'm exhausted. I have forgotten how to be happy." Where is the trans joy that we have been told to look for? We've been fed a lie that transitioning fixes everything, that it'll make your life so much better. You'll be happy once you transition.
That right there is exactly what I was just talking about. So Dylan, her actions, what she says and what she does on social media and in life is then dissected. This video alone has 492,000 views. That's more views than Dylan's Days of Girlhood music video. So a response to that music video has more views currently. And what Brett is saying there, obviously she's analysing Dylan's behaviour and discussing Dylan being unhappy, which is very sad. I do appreciate that. But what worries me is that Brett then says, well, we've been told this lie that if people transition, they're going to be happy. So generalising all trans people from Dylan's actions. That's what I'm trying to sort of explain throughout this. So I can say, hand on heart, that I was never truly ever happy until I transitioned. So I had moments of happiness in being in love with my partner, travelling, doing things that I enjoyed. I had moments, but it wasn't until I was doing those same things again as Alexis, as myself, where I was genuinely, truly happy. But Dylan's actions and what she said online has been taken, and then all the trans community have been put underneath that as if it's all the same for all of us. And I'm seeing this happen time and time again through different content creators here on YouTube. And that's what's worrying, because then it's creating an image, a negative image. It's creating a bad narrative for the trans community. And that's what I'm trying to explain. If you go through the Candace Owens podcast about this, all of Brett Cooper's, everyone's that I briefly showed earlier, they all obviously are negative. I guess like my video, am I part of the problem? Maybe I am. I don't know. I can't imagine getting that much hate thrown towards you as a human being. It must be really, really hard. I do want to appreciate that and take a moment to remember that Dylan is a human being, and it must be very overwhelming, very hurtful and very upsetting. But at the same time, I think it's time that she take responsibility for her actions. What she says and does affects not just only herself, but other people. And that's where I am now with this whole situation. I'm tired and frustrated that this person is the representation for trans women, when that is not how so many of us are. So many of us just want to live a normal life, blend in, do our thing, go to work, fall in love, have kids, have a family. I'm sorry if this video comes off as harsh, or I don't want it to be mean. I don't want to incite anyone to go over and attack this person and be cruel to them. But I am just done with this being my representation, because that's not who I see as a trans representative. I'm really sorry. That is me done. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a heavy video and I have got frustrated at points, but I just needed to get that off my chest. I hope you all have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.